By the mid-1800s, the Cumberland Presbyterian Church had a significant presence in North Georgia and Georgia in general. 1836, missionaries from the denomination had come here and started riding circuits through the area. By 1842, Union Grove Cumberland Presbyterian Church was established in Cohutta. In the 1840s, the Adairsville Cumberland Presbyterian Church was established because of these circuit riders. 1851, Mount Cumberland Presbyterian Church in Murray County was established. That church is now known as Shumack. 1857, the Liberty Cumberland Presbyterian Church was established in Calhoun. After the Civil War, in 1869, there were some families that came together in Bartow County, and they established the Bartow Cumberland Presbyterian Church. But all this started back in 1810 in a little cabin in the Tennessee hills.
Sometime in the fire, sometime in the water, sweet Jesus, He carried me. Sometime in the water.
By the early 1800s, the situation between the ministers of Cumberland Presbytery and their synod, Kentucky Synod, had deteriorated to the point that the synod felt it was necessary to dissolve Cumberland Presbytery. This left any number of churches in Kentucky and Tennessee without spiritual guidance, without clergy to shepherd their flocks. On February 3rd, 1810, two Presbyterian ministers, Finis Ewing and Samuel King, brought Ephraim McLean, a potential minister, here to the log house of Samuel McAdoo. Here, they tried to convince McAdoo to join with them in reforming Cumberland Presbytery. McAdoo was unsure. He retired from the group, went outside to pray, where he prayed all night, and in the morning agreed to join with them and reform Cumberland Presbytery. Their first act after reforming the presbytery was to ordain Ephraim McLean. From that meager beginning in 1810, the Cumberland Presbyterian Church rapidly grew. It spread throughout Kentucky and Tennessee, going westward with the frontier, until in 1829 it was decided to form a separate Cumberland Presbyterian General Assembly, and a new denomination is well established.
The founding of the Bartow Cumberland Presbyterian Church in 1869 was recorded by Miss Frances Lynn in her history of the Cumberland Presbyterian Church. She wrote, "A wonderful brush arbor revival with soul-winning experiences was held in Bartow County in 1869. Following this revival, Bartow Cumberland Presbyterian Church was organized in the summer of 1869 by the Reverend A. B. Wilson. The land where the first church building was erected was given by G.T. Thompson. 24 members composed the new Bartow congregation. 10 of these transferred from Concord Church and 14 joined on profession of faith." The history here is wonderfully rich, and it ties in with this community in North Bartow County very well. The area was very agricultural, but it was thriving at the time, and I'm not sure what happened in that revival that went on under that brush arbor. But obviously it was something that took hold. Cumberland Presbyterians were sending these missionaries down here, and they would plant seeds, but the roots didn't really take like it did here at Bartow. The church only had services once a month when it first started out. And those services were led usually by a pastor that came down from Chattanooga on the train to Adairsville. From there, the congregation started holding services on the second and fourth Sunday of the month. Families would worship at the Bartow Church second and fourth Sunday, and then Wofford's Crossroads on first and third.
This church started out as a handful of families, the Collins family, the Gaines family, some Lipscombs, and Richards.
And then these have intermarried with people from the community, intermarried among themselves too. And even though I'm not kin to, like the Richards or the Bagwells, who are kin to the Gaines, I'm kin to folks that are kin to them.
Just having the family in the church then was just kind of a common day thing, I believe, not like it is today, because now a lot of times people go to different churches or don't have that family nucleus, but that was just something that was understood and done back in that point in time.
I remember the old church that was here. It was a white church, a wooden building, and the little branch run around under the corner of the edge of the church, of the Sunday school room. There was an old tree that was out here. There was a little hill, and Hurley Lynn came in here, and he pulled his car up there and pulled against that stump of that tree and parked. That's where he parked every Sunday.
The reason he parked against the stump, there wasn't no brakes on his A-model coupe. So he depended on the stump to stop him. Bessie Gaines Richards was my mother, and Luther Richards was our father. He was a deacon at Wofford's Crossroads Church, and Mother was an elder here at Bartow Church.
Each one, they always said that they were satisfied in their church, and they both liked each other's church. The two churches were real intermingled, the people were. And we went to Bartow in the morning and Crossroads in the afternoon.
Years ago, this was the only place that you met and got together. You come to church on Sunday, and when it became full time, you met together, you worshiped together, and your children played and grew up together, and that was your social life.
As a child, I can remember going to revival. It ran the entire week, and not only at night, but it also ran in the morning hours too.
The morning service, about all that got here were the women and the kids. And the evening service usually started about 7:30. That was when the men would come. You know, we'd have people from all over the community. And a lot of people from Pine Log came, and a lot of people from Crossroads came. Camp meeting was still a pretty big deal. And my daddy said, of course, when he was growing up, camp meeting was a big social event. I mean, it was a lot of people came to camp meeting.
The church would be about full. People be on the outside, and of course, most of the time it's in the summertime. We didn't have any air conditioning. The undertakers would furnish the fans for the church, and they'd have the fans going. And some people would be on the outside, maybe, and looking in from the outside.
I remember the year that my sister and I joined the church. We came forward on the very last night of revival, and Charlie Hayes was the visiting minister at that point in time.
He was a very good preacher, and he was a very good man. But he was one of these fire and brimstone preachers, and he'd come down here and he'd scare me to death. And we had those pews, and they were hard, And I would get so tired of sitting there for 45 minutes. And back in those days, you didn't get up and go outside. You did that, boy, when you get home, you're in big trouble. But he was a good preacher, and he led a lot of folks to Christ.
Well, the old building was a white wood structure, and they tore it down and built this one.
Okay, I can remember coming down here when they were building the new sanctuary. The thing that kind of caught my attention, I guess, being a kid, because see, I was only like 6 or 7 years old. Those arches where the windows, those stained glass windows, and they had those arches up there, but nothing was in them yet. When they got it finished, it was just, you had 2 small wings there where the Sunday school rooms were. There's no bathrooms here at that time. There's just those 2 Sunday school rooms on the ends, and then those 2 back in the back, I still got those folding doors. And then the adults met in the sanctuary.
I remember the first Sunday that we were in the new structure. I remember leading the singing.
I see Jesus standing at the Father's right hand. I see Jesus yonder in the promised land. Work is over, now I'm coming to thee. I see Jesus standing, waiting for me.
This church has always had a lot of music in it. Back through the years, his mother was part of the Gaines Ladies Quartet that was known all over the state.
Aunt Bessie sang alto, Mother sang soprano, and Aunt Katie sang tenor, and Aunt Mattie sang bass.
Well, Aunt Bessie always told us that we could sing harmony together. Then once the girls got to where they could play for us, we got to harmonizing and singing as a family. So we just always had music. That's been a part of our life.
It was when Catherine and Preacher Noor came that we really had a vibrant youth program. They just jumped in and we did all different types of things. We do the Bible studies, but there was some type of fun activity to go along with it, and all of us would look forward to coming to church because of some of the activities and all that we did. And I think that was probably the very beginning of a solid youth program that we've had. And with Mark, he's involved in a lot of the different camps, so that's a good thing, and that has strengthened the program.
What drew my family closer was the youth activities. I found that the Vacation Bible Schools, the Sunday school atmosphere is what really helped my family to become more involved. I have 4 daughters, and they all were very interested in meeting the other youth here and the activities that were part of it. The Vacation Bible School was a big hit for my kids, also my involvement in that.
I think it was when Mark first came. I can remember some of the sleepovers that we used to have, campouts in the church, and we took the chapel here and cleared everything out of the middle of it. I made a box maze all through here, and I was big, but I was little enough I could still squeeze through most of the boxes. The bigger ones couldn't. That was some more fun.
Beyond that, how much they helped the community. I found that the lunch programs and the backpack buddy programs and those other things that I knew helped very locally, and how important it was and how it impacted a lot of lives.
It's helped me really become a better person about giving, and it's a great environment to raise kids in.
I would like for this church to always look to Jesus Christ for their Savior, and to lead people to become Christians that they might know Christ is their Savior.
If you're not making disciples, it's just a social club. To me, that's not what a church is. The essence of this church is service to the congregation and to this community in general, spiritually as well as through their physical needs.
They've all had their times of witnessing to our children and the life they've lived all the time, and just been very special to us.
Bartow Cumberland Presbyterian Church was then, and it still is now, one of the strong Cumberland Presbyterian churches in our presbytery. So I don't know what happened in that revival that went on under that brush arbor, but it stuck.
I've always been my family. I've always had somebody to lean on or fall back to if I needed somebody else to talk to besides my family.
And people just want to feel and be a part of a family. If you're kin or if you're not kin, you're still a family.